Alright, got me make some paper, yeah.
Hey guys, in this video I'll be showing you guys how to make flash step on Roblox. Let's get right into the video. So I'm going to show you guys the particle that we're going to be using. We're going to be using this little particle. You can, I'll have it in the game so you guys can just use it. So you see all these properties in here. And now we're going to make a remote event. We're going to put inside of uppercase storage. We're also going to have our particle inside of uppercase storage as well. You can save your particle inside of an event folder or like a particle folder so you can be more organized. But I'll just put inside of uppercase storage just because. So the first thing you want to do, you want to make a local script, and this local script is basically going to be helping us help make our keybinds. So we're going to do repeat wait until game.player local player.character. Then we're going to get user input servers, our flash event that is located inside replicate storage. Then we get our player, and then we're going to do user input servers dot input began connect function. Then we're going to write input and is typing to the parameters, and then we're going to do if is typing, then we'll return end so they can't type, let's say Queasy inside of the chat, and it's not going to activate their flash step. So if they do, now we're going to do if input.keycode equals anim.keycode.q. So basically when they hit the keybind q, we're going to fire remote event to the server. Alright, so now you want to add a script inside of our server script service. And this is more of the, I wouldn't say complex, but this is really simple to understand. So first thing we're going to do here, we're going to get local replicate storage. All we're going to do is get a server replicate storage. We're going to have our variables. Whatever you change here will change however fast like the script goes or what you want. It basically it helps you change the certain properties of the flash step. So if you want your flash step to be a little bit faster, you change the speed. If you want to be a little bit long, you change the duration. If you want a long cooldown, you change the cooldown. Pretty self-explanatory. We're gonna have our debounce table, of course, for our debounce, so we can't spam it. That's why it helps with our cooldown. So now we're gonna do replicate storage dot step on service event. So now we're basically connecting our local script, so our fire server to our on-server event. Connect function, we're going to play the parameters. Now we're just going to make our debounce. So if debounce played and return end, then we're going to set it true. We're going to put nil on the bottom so we can reset it after our cooldown. And then we're going to make our delete table where we're going to be putting all our extra stuff so we can delete it all at one time. And then we're going to have our transparency, and we're going to be saving our transparency in a dictionary so we can actually save properly and not give us no errors. So we're going to get the character, and we're going to make an attachment using instance.new, and we're going to parent our attachment to the character's human root part. And the reason why we're getting attachments is because since body velocity is deprecated, we have to use linear velocity, and we have to have attachment to make linear velocity basically work. So we're going to get linear velocity. We're going to do instance.new linear velocity, and we're going to parent that to the human root part. And now we're going to basically add the attachment and the linear velocity inside of our delete table. And now all we're going to do, we're going to be setting up our linear velocity now. So now we're going to change our max force to 300,000. Now we're going to put our attachment 0 equal to attachment that we made, and that is inside the table as well. And then we're going to do our velocity constraint mode. We're going to set it to line because we want to move in the line. And you can set this to plane. And there's a lot of more things you can do with this. You can set it to plane and other stuff. But we're going to use ours to line because we want to go in a straight line or like in the line direction. And then we want to do the linear velocity dot line direction. We're going to do vector3.new. And basically all we're going to do here is, if you used to use body velocity, we use look vector, and then we would multiply by the speed. But instead of doing that, we're going to get the human root part dot cframe dot look vector, and then instead of doing like times the speed, we're going to do dot x. We get the x position of the character's human root part, and then we're going to also put 0 because we don't want to be going upwards. We want to be going in a line direction. So then we're also going to do the same thing here, but instead of x, we're going to put z. So we're going to get a c from that look vector.z for our z axis for our line direction. And then what we're going to do here, we're going to do linear velocity dot line velocity, and we're going to make it equal to our speed. So basically however fast we want this to move. So now we're going to get our particle. So we're going to have local particle. We're going to have local particle. We're going to have replicate storage dot particle flash, which is right here. And then we're going to clone the particle. So we're going to clone the particle, and then we're going to parent the particle to the human root part so we can basically have it on a character while we move so everybody else can see it as well. Then we're going to add this clone particle inside of the table. And that's basically how the whole code essentially works. And now what we're going to do here, we basically want to make our character disappear. So basically we're gonna loop through our character, like a descendants, and then we're gonna do if not value. So if, let's say, like our head, our head, our human review part, our feet, our right leg, our left leg, if not value, so what I just said is a base part that continue n, so we're gonna continue the code, but it's basically gonna stop. It's gonna continue. It's basically gonna continue if value is a base part. If not, value is a base part. I don't want to make it too confusing, but so if not value is a base part, so if it's not like a base part saying, like, let's say it's not like a, because you know how we have accessories on our character, if it's not a base part, that's going to continue the code. And now basically what we're going to do here, we're going to make a dictionary for our transparency. So instead of just changing the transparency back to 0 and 1, we can save inside a dictionary so it doesn't create any type of error within. It doesn't create any type of error when you try to change it back, because there's known errors when you don't use a dictionary to try to save an already saved value, if that makes any sense. So what we're going to do here, we're going to do transparency. So our transparency table, we're going to have the value inside of here, and then we're going to make it equal to the value.transparency. We're basically saving the transparency that was already associated with the transparency before. So let's say we have let's say this part right here had a transparency of 0.5. We're going to save that 0.5 transparency inside of our dictionary. So instead of us changing it to 0.5 and changing it all back to 1, we're just going to change it back to whatever it was by default. So basically we're going to change that transparency to 1. Now we can change it because we have all the values saved inside the dictionary. Now we're going to wait our duration, which will be 0.3. Now we're going to loop it. Now we're going to loop through the transparency. And now what we're going to do here, we're going to make I, which is basically going to be like, it's basically going to be our value that we changed. So like our accessories, our base part, all that other stuff. Then we're going to change it. Then we're going to do the dot transparency. It's going to be equal to V. So basically our V is going to be the transparency that we had before. So let's say our base part transparency was 0.4 and our part was 0.5. It's going to change it back to whatever their default was. And now we're going to loop through the delete table. So our attachment, our linear velocity, we're going to loop through that. And our clone part, and what we're going to do, we're going to destroy it, and then we're going to do delete I, so basically the index, because it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, depending on how many items are in the table, that's how much the index is going to be. So we're going to reset it back to nil, so it just erases from the table. Then we're going to wait cooldown, and then we're going to set our debounce player back to nil, so basically we can make our cooldown work. And that's basically how you make your flash step video. If you have any questions down below, join the Discord, and I'm making consistent videos. I want to make sure I can help you guys a lot, learn new things. If you learn from this video, I hope you guys did learn something from this video. Hope you watched all the way through. I really appreciate you guys. Have a nice one and stay up.